PowerShell interview questions and answers. Beginner means advanced. Introduction. PowerShell is a command-line shell and scripting language developed by Microsoft. PowerShell is widely used for key, system administration, automation, DevOps, cloud management, Windows Server management, Azure automation. PowerShell helps automate repetitive tasks, manage files, services, users, processes, and cloud resources. 1 to 20. PowerShell basics. What is PowerShell? PowerShell is a command-line shell and scripting language used for automation and administration. Who developed PowerShell? Microsoft. PowerShell versus command prompt. PowerShell works with objects. Command prompt mostly works with text. What is a commandlet? A lightweight PowerShell command. Commandlet naming format? Verb-noun format. Example commandlet? Get process. Displays help information for commands. Example: get help, get process. What is get command? Finds available commands. What is get member? Shows properties and methods of objects. What is pipeline in PowerShell? Passing output of one command to another. Pipeline example: get process, sort object CPU. What is object in PowerShell? Structured data with properties and methods. What is variable in PowerShell? $name equals John. How to print output? Write output hello. What is comment? Hashtag this is a comment. What is script file extension? .ps1. pscript ps1. What is execution policy? Security setting controlling script execution. Common execution policies. Restricted. Remote signed. Unrestricted. Bypass 21 to 40. Variables, operators, and control flow. What are PowerShell data types? String, integer, Boolean, array, hash table, message, hello PowerShell, array example, numbers equals 1, 2, 3, hash table example, user equals, @name equals John, age equals 25. What is if statement? If age GT 18, write output adult. Common comparison operators: EC, EQ, EC, NE, EC, GT, EC, LT, EC, GE, EC, LE. What is switch statement? Switch, $status, active, user active. What is for loop? For I equals 0, I minus LT5, I plus plus, write output I. For each, $item in $items, write output $item. What is while loop? While count int of 5, $count plus plus. What is do while loop? Executes block before checking condition. What is function in PowerShell? Function, say hello, write output hello. Function with parameter? Function greet name. Write output hello name. What is parameter block? Param, string $name. Parameter required from user. Mandatory parameter example: param, parameter mandatory $true, string $name. What is default parameter value? Param, string $ends equals dev. Passing parameters using hash table. Splatting example: $params equals path equals c:temp. Recurse equals $true. Get child item at params. What is typecasting? Int, $n equals 10, 41 to 70. Files, services, processes, and error handling. How to list files? Get child item. How to create folder? New item. Item type, directory path, c:/temp. Copy item file, .txt: backup. How to move file? Move item, file.txt, temp. How to delete file? Remove item, file.txt. How to read file content? Get content file.txt. How to write file content? Set content, file.txt. Hello. How to append content? Add content, file.txt. More text? What is select object? Select specific properties. Select object example: get process. Select object name CPU. What is where object? Filters objects. Where object example: get process. Where object S object CPU 900. What is sort object? Sorts objects. How to get services? Get service. How to start service? Start service spooler. How to stop service spooler. How to get processes, get process. How to stop process, name, notepad. What is error handling? Handling failures during script execution. Try catch example. Try, get content missing.txt. Error action stop. Catch, write output, file not found. Executes. After try catch, regardless of result. What is error action? Controls how errors are handled. Common error action values. Continue. Stop. Silently continue. What is $error variable? Stores recent errors. What is last exit code? Exit code of last native command. What is $sign variable? Indicates whether last command succeeded. What is transcript? Start transcript, stop transcript. What is module? Package containing PowerShell commands. How to import module. Import-module as. How to install module. Install module as. 71-100. Advanced PowerShell and automation. What is advanced function? Function with commandlet-like features. Advanced function example. Function test user. Commandlet binding param, $name. What is pipeline input? Accepting data from previous command. Running commands on remote computers. Enable PowerShell remoting. Enable PS remoting remote command example. Invoke command. Computer name server 1. Script block, get service. What is PS session? Persistent remote PowerShell session. What is desired state configuration? PowerShell-based configuration management. What is background job? Start job, get process. What is scheduled job? Job running at scheduled time. What is PowerShell profile? Startup script loaded when PowerShell starts. What is JSON handling? Get content data.json. Convert from JSON, convert object to JSON. Data, convert to JSON. What is CSV handling? Import CSV users.csv. Export to CSV. Get process, export CSV process.csv. What is REST API call? Invoke REST method-URI, https://api.example.com. Sends, web requests, and returns response details. What is secure string? Encrypted string for sensitive values. What is credential object? $cred equals get credential. What is PowerShell gallery? Online repository for PowerShell modules. What is as module? PowerShell module for managing Azure resources. What is automation script? Script used to perform repetitive tasks automatically. Common PowerShell interview topics. Commandlets, pipeline, scripting, error handling, modules, remoting. Common PowerShell use cases? Check, file automation. Check, server management. Check, log analysis. Check, Azure automation. Best practices for PowerShell? Use approved verbs. Handle errors. Write reusable functions. Avoid hard-coding secrets. How to debug PowerShell scripts? Breakpoints. Write debug. Write verbose. VS Code debugger. How to secure PowerShell scripts? Execution policy. Code signing. Avoid plain text passwords. Least privilege. How to become strong in PowerShell? Practice scripting. Automate daily tasks. Learn pipeline deeply. Use modules. Biggest PowerShell interview concept? Object-based pipeline and automation. Key PowerShell interview focus? Commandlets, scripting, pipeline, error handling, and automation. Final summary. PowerShell interviews focus on commandlets, command line, services and processes, error handling, modules, remoting, automation. Key idea. Strong PowerShell users understand object-based scripting and can automate system, server, cloud, and DevOps tasks efficiently.